welcome everyone to Sincerely Students, a podcast created by students for students. I'm Cordelia Stubblefield, and joining us today we have one of Miami's deaf students, Mareyhana, and we have her lovely interpreter, Jessica. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I do have a bit of questions. My first question for you is, what is deaf experience like on campus?
It's kind of nice. It's one of the reasons I chose Miami is their Miller Center diversity that they have. Because they're very quick to provide interpreters, provide the alarms that shake your bed to alert you of a fire alarm going on or someone's at your door.
Wow, I had no idea. Those are some really good accommodations that they have.
Yeah.
So when you live on campus, you get a bed that will shake if the fire alarms go off?
Yeah. That's a feature I just discovered this semester is that when the fire alarm goes off, it'll shake your bed. There'll be flashing lights that are more brighter than the normal fire alarm lights, just to let you know there's a fire going off or a fire in the building. Sorry. Yeah. Fire in the building.
Oh, it's very helpful. What's it like going to all of your classes? Does your interpreter, Jessica, follow you from class to class? Or do you have, multiple different interpreters?
I have multiple different interpreters, and they, I get different interpreters based on their skill set that they're comfortable with. We're interpreting those certain classes for me, so I'm a psych major. So some classes like math, these interpreters get to decide do you want to interpret my math class for me or my psych class for me or whatever. But yeah, they don't follow me to those classes, but they're there once I get there.
Yeah. Have you ever had a teacher give you a hard time over needing an interpreter?
I have had the experience of, teachers feeling are you going to tell her the answers? And that's not their job. During a test, they just they're in their own world, they're reading or something. Yeah. I don't need them to interpret my test for me, but that's the only ever real difficulty that I've had with professors or teachers in general.
Okay, that's good. I know sometimes when I'm in a class, if a teacher requires a video to be watched and they won't include subtitles, that's a bit of a hassle because I have an auditory processing thing where it's if there's no subtitles, those words are going completely in and out of my head.
Yeah, in high school there were some teachers who just provided a transcript, and that's been sort of helpful, but I usually get those transcripts after class had already happened.
Yeah.
So I'm behind on it, but usually my interpreters can interpret the video or the documentary or whatever is being shown in class while we're in class.
Okay, so what is your social life like on campus as a deaf student? I know that your interpreter mentioned earlier there are several other deaf students. Mm-hmm. Is there sort of a friend group amongst you, or do you have different types of friends?
I have different types of friends. Also, the deaf community on this campus is such a not new thing, but for us to all be on the campus at the exact same time, is very new. I just became aware of the other deaf students on this campus very recently, but most of my friends are hearing. They're pretty chill about if I didn't catch something, repeat it, look at me, eye contact when you're talking to me, so I can read your lips very easily. Mm-hmm. I do not. Common misconception is that I have my interpreters with me full time, they're interpreting all my friendship conversations. No, I lip read. And all my friends are pretty respectful about that and pretty understanding of that kind of thing.
I know that Miami has the MAP activities and planning stuff. Are there any on-campus events you've gone to, Art After Dark was last weekend, where you've struggled a bit or where you found it to be a really good place to be as a deaf person?
I went to Art After Dark, and that was super fun. But it was difficult hearing the friend that I had with me because she was talking most of the time because it was super loud in there. There was music in the background. It was hard to hear, but I did my best. But otherwise, it was fun. I've gone to some of the movie events, when Top Gun Maverick was shown. Yeah. I went to there. Last semester, I went to see Moana when that was being shown in the Central Quad, I think it was. And I had to I requested captions from whoever was running the movies, and they were pretty chill about just figuring that out very quickly, and having it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a perfect world at Miami, are there like any sort of accommodations you wish you could have? Like very specific things or like things people don't typically think about when they're accommodating a hard of hearing person?
I think Miami pretty much hits all the like marks of providing interpreters. I've also been offered a note taker, but I have a specific way that I do my notes, so I declined. I can't think of anything like the fire alarm, the Ring doorbell that I've been given. They've all been like really helpful. So I don't think there's any additional accommodations that I would personally need.
Yeah.
Because I think Miami works perfectly well for me accommodation wise.
That's good. I had no idea that we were like such a top school in that regard. I know that our Miller Center is really good with accommodations and things.
Yeah, they are really, really nice. They're also nice about reaching out throughout the semester if you need like that extra time, or do you want to be in another like room when you take your test or anything like that. Or yeah. And they're also pretty good about like notifying your professors or teachers if you need like additional time, or can you give this lecture PowerPoint to this person ahead of time, or things like that.
That's very good. In the deaf community, there is a concept called deaf gain, which I'm sure you are aware of, but for our viewers who might not, it's basically a way of reframing things. So rather than saying, oh, I lost my hearing, you say, I gained deafness. How does this play into your own relationship with deafness?
I guess when I was younger, I did struggle with my identity a little bit about like where I fit into the deaf world, because I guess in the very early stages of my like deafness, because I lost my hearing when I was 7.
Okay.
So I guess now I'm a lot more confident and more okay with like my capital D deafness, but back then when I was younger, I was kind of not sure because I had cochlear implants and hearing aids, and I wasn't sure if that made me more or less deaf. But now it's like I'm totally okay with, and I understand now that it doesn't matter if you have cochlear implants or hearing aids, you are still deaf. You're still a part of that community that isn't,
of course,
because you still struggle to hear either way. But it's just like having a cochlear implant and a hearing aid just helps you hear some things.
Yeah, and really it is such an interesting like social model with disability, because if people knew ASL and American Sign Language, it would be so much easier for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have opinions on that. Sometimes it's a bit crazy to me that sometimes a person can only be like disabled in a sense that the infrastructure in the world around them just isn't suited for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't go through the drive-through, like the little speaker where you speak to the person, and that when you're like trying to get your order in or get them to take your order, I go right inside. I can't do the speaker thing because I'm not gonna hear them. It just sounds muffled to me, but to the ordinary hearing person, they sound perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So
like there are so many things that I don't even have to think about that could be like a big hindrance on your life or someone else's life if they're hard of hearing. I mean, you did go into a little bit about how you lost your hearing. You don't have to talk about that if you want to, but I did notice that you had a cochlear implant.
I have two. I got my right cochlear implant, I want to say, when I was like 9, 10-ish, and then the left one was pretty recent in 2020 during COVID, and that was an interesting experience, but it went very like smoothly. Yeah, I got two. They helped me hear. I still cannot hear things behind me though. Like if someone is talking behind me, I'm not gonna hear it at all. Like I've had so many friends come up to me and be like, I was calling your name, I'm sorry I didn't hear you. Like you have to come up to me, you gotta be in front of me, text me or something, because if you're yelling out my name or you see me on campus, text me.
Yeah.
Text me, let me know that you saw me, because I can't hear you yelling from across the other side of campus that you see me, or that you do see me.
Yeah. What was the before and after with getting the implant like?
I discovered that the refrigerator makes noise, and also that when you open up like a can of pop or something, I didn't know that like that makes like a bubbling sound or whatever. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
There are lots of like small noises.
Small noises, never heard them.
You know, like when I'm sitting in a quiet room, sometimes it bothers me because if there's like heavy fluorescent lights, I can hear like the buzz of them just a little bit.
I can't. I don't feel like the silence that hearing people hear is like true silence, because I even like in the silent like rooms, such as this one, I can probably still notice if I'm like sitting still. I could probably still notice like little sounds that you may hear, or I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
People are constantly making noise.
Yeah, exactly. That happens in classrooms too, where it's like there's an awkward silence, but you can still hear like someone's hydro flask falling, or someone on their phone texting, like the little noises that you still hear in those awkward silences when a professor is waiting for somebody to answer a question.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment where you thought something was a lot quieter than it was, and you were like, say you're like in class and you like move your water and it makes like a loud sound, but like you're unaware?
I have had that happen where I pull out my water bottle, and since having like 2 cochlears like full time, I did not know that made noise. That didn't bother me before when I would do it, but now like I'm extra aware of it. Like, can somebody hear me? Am I making too much noise when I'm eating, when I'm pulling out a snack? Because, try to eat between classes or during class. Whatever. Yeah. I'm like more aware of like that sound. Like I feel like it's super loud when I'm like eating a pretzels or something, or grapes or an apple or whatever. I feel like that's super loud. But to everybody else, that's like, it's ordinary sound. Like, it's not that loud. I'm like, I feel like that's pretty loud. Are you sure it's not bothering anybody?
Yeah. I feel like when you're in silence and you're trying to open like a bag of chips or something, it's the loudest thing in the world just because there's no other noise in that room.
Exactly. And I just feel like extra self-conscious about that noise. I'm like, oh my God, am I bothering people? Can everybody else hear this? Or is this just like ordinary classroom sounds that I just never picked up on before?
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you like to do to relax? Like, is there ever a moment where like the noise or the lack of noise is like kind of anxiety causing?
Yeah, I thought this was a unique experience to me, but I know some deaf people do get like really overstimulated with noise, and I do as well. Like the classroom noises or just the noises of like traffic around Miami is overwhelming and overstimulating sometimes. So sometimes I do just take off my like cochlears and just in my dorm room, I'm chilling. My roommate doesn't usually like bother me during that time, so I'm just like, I take them all off. I usually read a book on Libby. Shout out. I usually read a book on Libby, and just relax and take a break from all the noise, because it just gets to be too much sometimes.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I have had friends tell me like, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, I know.
Being able to like turn off the noise at a whim, that is pretty cool.
I did that in elementary school a lot because kids get rowdy sometimes, and I sometimes I just took them off in the middle of class and just fully locked in on my interpreter because I couldn't do it. It just got overwhelming. A lot.
Kids can be loud.
They can be. Oh my God. In a lunchroom, in the cafeteria, they can be. Dining halls that are busy during the lunch hour. Yeah. That could be a lot, to a point where I will just not even finish my food and I'll just walk out. And I feel bad not finishing my food, but like I just gotta walk out because it just gets to be so overwhelming sometimes.
If I'm walking the street and a semi is driving past me, too loud. Entirely too loud.
Oh my God. Scooters, that's another thing. Scooters and bikes, I cannot hear them behind me.
I can't either. They zoom, no one
I try to be extra aware on this campus. I'm like,
they're a menace to everyone.
Yeah, I'm so scared of getting run over. There have been a few incidents on this campus where I'm like, oh my God, this person is getting ready to run me over. Yeah. I'm trying to move over fast enough that they don't hit me. Yeah. And I think they're trying to slow down, but like they're going at such a fast speed, I don't think they can. Yeah. But like, I feel like the scooter should get like the little...
Yeah, bikes have bells. Sometimes they choose not to use them. They are as quiet as you think they are. That is not an instance of you like thinking things are quieter than they are. They are just deadly silent, approaching you from behind.
Okay. I mean, I feel like some people around me can hear them coming. Like one of my friends told me it's like a whoosh sound.
There's like a little whoosh sound, but if you're having a conversation, it's not loud enough you're going to hear it. And a lot of the time you only hear it when they're like a couple feet behind you, and that's rarely enough time to move out of the way.
Okay. It's not just me then. Love that for me.
Thank you for tuning in to Sincerely Students. provided by the Miami Student. We would like to personally thank Mareyhana, our guest speaker for this episode. Is there any student organization you would want to plug?
Check out my ASL Miami. We meet in McGuffey from 6 to 7 in room 126. It's very fun. Get to brush up on some sign language if you're interested in doing that. Fun.
At one point, I learned the alphabet, and then I did not stick with it, and then I immediately lost the alphabet. But I want to learn ASL.
It's such a beautiful language to learn, and we really do work on that, just teaching some deaf culture and how to interact with maybe deaf students who are on this campus, and maybe we also really focus on creating deaf advocates, that you as a hearing person could advocate for those deaf people who can't, or help them in any way you can. Just knowing a little bit of sign language goes a long way.
Yeah, we owe it to ourselves to look out for everyone.
Yes, exactly.
So, if you're looking to find mental health resources on campus at Miami University, Student Counseling Service at the Clinical Health and Science and Wellness Facility offers student group counseling with free consultation and a text crisis line, 741-741. If you are a student who has a disability and would like support, we encourage you to connect with the Student Disability Services at the Miller Center, located on the 3rd floor of Shriver Center. I'm Cordelia Stubblefield, reminding you that you become closer to your true self every day. And take an ASL class.